Hey guys, Tommy and Brian here. Today we are going to get the Silver Bullet inside the paint booth. We are they're currently in the process of caging these brakes back here because our paint booth has some height restriction issues. So they're basically gonna have to set it on the ground and push it in. That's gonna be fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, they've already stripped the whole frame down. The fifth wheel's sitting over here on a forklift, and they're getting all the edges smoothed out, kind of what we started the other day.
And you guys saw in the last video, we got a bunch of other parts for painting today too. They'll go into the smaller paint booth. And finally, we're gonna get to see this truck here, I guess by the end of the day or in the morning, with some good paint on it.
Yeah,
and we can start hanging parts too.
It's gonna be nice. So for like, basically all the time consuming stuff has kind of just happened. So once they get the paint on this frame, we can pull it out, start hanging parts. Once the parts are on it, the process is gonna go really fast. So
it's kind of like we did a polishing video. Is 95% prep work, 10% polish. Was sort of the same thing here. It's like 90% prep on all these parts and everything, and then 10% putting it together. So all the hard work's done. Yep. Now we're gonna see this truck go together pretty quick.
Oh yeah. So follow along with us today. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna get some paint on that frame, start bolting the truck back together.
All right, let's go. I don't, Adam. I unhook the steering wheel. We put the radio in it, so I took the seatbelt off of it. So one of the things, guys, are pushing this truck, you want to keep the steering wheel straight. A super easy way to do that is just run the seatbelt around it. Makes it easier to push. Well, keeps the wheels from turning around at least.
Now the other advantage to having the brakes caged this way is when we get ready to move the truck out of the paint booth, we can roll it outside by hand.
Right. Not have to worry about messing
with the paint. Not have to scratch our paint.
Yep.
You won't have the whole window, just so much of the window that won't do it. So we'll pump those cap plastic. Yeah, it's just easy to clean the razor blade. Get a whole lot of it done. Yeah.
All right, guys, so we're getting everything all taped up here. Getting ready to spray some paint. You see, there's not a whole lot to tape up on this guy, but you don't want paint on the bags. Some of the stickers and stuff for the axles and the serial numbers, tape those off, keep the paint off of them. Next step, we'll wipe everything down, get it all nice and clean, and then she'll be ready to squirt some paint on here in a minute. All right, so all the taping up is done. We got the truck all covered in plastic. Still got a few more things to cover up back here before we close the doors and thing and start painting. We're gonna be painting the frame and also these fuel tank brackets all at the same time because I've got to go pick up the fuel tanks, bring them back over here. As soon as the paint's done, we will be putting the tanks back in their proper location, and we'll be able to actually fire this truck up, move it around on its own finally. And yeah, so pretty excited to see how this thing's gonna work here in a little bit. Out of the paint booth. and I'm sure y'all can tell the humongous difference in how much shinier the paint looks wet. I mean, it looks just as good as the paint you'd see on the truck. So I don't know, pretty excited about it. It looks awesome. Now we get a deck plate on here, it'd be really good to go. But before we do that, I think it'd be a lot easier if we could drive this truck around instead of moving around with a forklift. So we got our new wider tank straps. We'll put the fuel tanks on, so this thing can run under its own power. We can move it around as we're doing stuff. And then, you know, the tanks you guys saw we had over here, took those down to Peter at Almost Chrome and got them polished out. That was a lot of work, but they look awesome. I think once they go on here, they're gonna look real good, especially those wider tank straps. It's gonna be pretty cool. I mean, to give you an idea, right now you're looking at a reflection of Chris right now unwrapping those. Hey Chris, wave at the frame. Yep, see, you didn't have that reflection before in the old paint. So definitely a lot easier to keep clean too. Dirt and everything else washes off that a whole lot better. And then these tank straps, they're cool. A lot wider than the old ones. Over here you got these deals, and they go inside the strap, help secure the tank in place. You want to make sure you get these tanks in the right spot the very first time, because once you go to tighten them down, it leaves marks in the aluminum, and if you want to move them, well, then you get to repolish the spots on the tank, and that's always fun. So it's definitely one of those ones you want to just be a one and done kind of deal, or else you'll give yourself a little extra work. It's like measure 5 times, install once. A little better view out here. In the sunlight, this thing's gonna look freaking cool. Really will. So right now we're working on tank placement when we put these back up there, because again, like I was saying, you get one stab at this, and if you don't put it exactly where you want it, well, then you move it, and then you end up having to do some more polish work. And I already learned how much work it is to polish these, so I'd like to limit the amount of polishing we'd have to do on these tanks ever again. But if you look here, so what we're trying to figure out is as close as we can get this tank so that the fuel cap can come off, which if you guys will look here straight down, that is about as close as you're ever going to get, and still be able to get your cap off without any issues, and also be able to get the fuel nozzle in there. So it looks like that's where it's going to go. Next step is you just put these dudes up. We still got to attach this guy and run in there, put the bolt in, and hook our fuel lines up, and then yeah, we'll be able to fire this thing up and drive it around. Okay, so we're putting these tanks on with these straps, and you'll kind of see we got them up there a little bit. We're going to use this ratchet strap to kind of help push the straps up against the tank. There's a jack, you know, obviously holding the tank up against the brackets over here. It's a little bit of a chore to get them in place. I'm breaking a sweat here, so we'll show you guys real quick. Let's get the strap where it needs to be. All right, so now we got the ratchet strap around the tank strap, and what we'll do is start using that ratchet strap to kind of get this tank strap closer to in place. And once we do that, we'll get the bolt on the top of the tank strap through the hole, and it'll actually kind of start pulling itself together. May have to also use this hammer right here. I don't know, we'll see. I lost my keys. It's going pretty good. All right, so you can see kind of what we did. What we're talking about was, when I was under the tanks there, is getting this bolt up around and through here so you can get the nut on it. And what we were doing is taking this ratchet strap that was connected over here, ran it down around the strap and underneath, help kind of pull everything together. I can say without a doubt, after you get these things on there, they're not going anywhere. Like, those dudes are in it. What do you think? The tank's gonna fall off?
Nope. Not going anywhere.
I don't think they're ever going anywhere. All right, guys, so you can see behind me, the tanks are on there and the straps are in there. That was a little bit more of a chore than I had expected.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever done that before, but I haven't. Brian got to experience it.
I got to experience it. Those wide tank straps take some work to get in place for sure, but they look awesome.
It's finesse. It takes some finesse. You gotta just, you gotta make it work, right?
And a big hammer.
Yeah. And as you can see, that paint is all shiny slick on the back of that frame. We'll show you a closer look at that. And we also have some parts in the booth over here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show you guys what's in the paint booth. So let's take a closer look at this frame and then we'll go check out the paint booth.
Let's do it. All right.
Now guys, even in video, I know you can see the before and after. This thing looks like it's still wet, but guess what? She's dry and it is smooth, slick. It's gonna look like this all the way around. Just picture that deck plate being on this thing and just being nice, shiny, pretty back here.
We can go check out the deck plate.
Yeah, we're gonna go check out the deck plate in the booth. Let's go ahead and do that.
Let's do it. Those tanks. I do really like those big straps though. Got to clean them. They're like, the tanks are all dirty from like mounting them, fingerprints everywhere. I'm kind of hurts my heart a little bit because there's so much work into making those shiny.
Oh yeah, and polishing those tanks.
Yeah, and then you're putting them on, you're like, oh no, don't touch it so much. You're getting fingerprints. I'm gonna have to clean that.
Yeah, so here's the fender brackets. These are getting sprayed next. Check this out. Pulling the tape off of the visor. So the visor is shiny on one side, but one of the cool secrets about this truck is when you hop in, it's gonna be the same color as the frame on the back. Now I know that it's kind of distorting the color, but I promise you guys it's accurate.
It's gonna look so cool. And I think, like we said earlier, and we did the stereo video, right over here in the visor, we're gonna put silver bullet in there, just to make sure whoever's driving this thing down the road doesn't forget the name. What do you think? You like it?
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. I can't wait to see it on the truck.
Into the booth.
So in here,
got the fifth wheel.
close this guy up.
This is actually still wet, so I can't touch it and shake how smooth it is. But you can tell where Brian rounded off those edges. It did make it look a lot cleaner. You can barely tell it was even done, especially after the paint. And when this thing goes back on the truck, it's just going to look nice and smooth.
And this stuff, guys, also is getting another coat of clear. So right now, this kind of tacked up, and we'll actually be painting putting another coat of clear on it.
Yep. Yeah. So it's not quite as wet looking as the frame is. So yeah, they're about to do a good wet sand on this and throw another coat of clear on it. So. But yeah, right there's this is the back piece, this is the front piece. We did some minor alteration on the front piece because when the cab air comes all the way down, there was a bracket that was touching the deck plate, and we thought, well, can't have that happening, so we did some minor fabrication right here. These are the
those are the brackets. Yeah.
That goes to the deck plate.
Pretty cool. I'm excited. I mean, so the next video we get back over here, all these parts we'll be putting them on.
Yep.
Put the wheels back on the truck.
Yeah. And then
the visor on the truck.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have to
exhaust.
We're gonna have to start bolting on the cabin sleeper panels and getting them ready for silver paint.
Yep, and that's all out there prepped, so they'll probably paint silver maybe tomorrow too.
Yeah.
Walk out there and look at that real quick. But it's moving so much faster now. There's some paint here, and we've got all the parts. So there it goes. The doors are tight.
Just gotta be smarter than the door.
Hey, easy. I'm smarter than a door. These are all the parts that are going silver. Y'all saw this in the last video with the stereo. Basically, they're still in the same condition. They just moved to here from over there. So, but yeah, they'll get painted. They look pretty cool. He's getting all that stuff ready to go now. Here's a better view to explain the visor for you guys. Here's the front of it. And that's the inside. So I mean, it's kind of cool. Even if the weather was like bad, it sort of kind of still looked like there was blue skies.
Sure.
Hello, Brian. Thanks for being super cheesy. Please stop it now. I like it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. We made some pretty cool progress. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we made some good progress. Got a stereo installed. Frames all nice and shiny, looking wet. I mean, this build's going to move a lot quicker from this point of the, from this point of the entire process. So.
And tomorrow morning we're getting up real early. We're heading back up to Davis Brothers. Next video, you guys are going to see the progress on Cash Money,
Yep.
which I'm excited to get up there. We're leaving pretty early in the morning to get up there, and when we get back, we'll get right back to work on this truck and get this thing hopefully ready to go in the next 10 days.
Yeah,
Gotta get ready to go.
Gotta get this thing ready to get out there and start showing it off.
Yeah.
So we'll start making some good progress pretty soon. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe.
At
Semi-Casual Show on Instagram. Come and find us. Follow along. See you guys next time.
later.